Thanks so much for watching this video, and I have to start off this video by prefacing it by saying I want nothing more than Empires and Puzzles to succeed in 2021. I have to bring that up because there is a lot of sobering information that I'm going to be delivering to you guys, things that you guys really need to understand, because the state of Empires and Puzzles is kind of at a turning point. As a content creator, I want them to succeed, because if they succeed, it means that more people download the game, more people play the game, and more people watch my content. So I need you guys to be very clear from the very beginning, I want Empires and Puzzles to succeed. I am their biggest cheerleader. I want them to do well, but we need to understand and see things from the community as far as what's going on. And as a content creator, I have to dive into this information because I need to know the state of what is going on and how things are transitioning, because I have to prepare myself professionally. So with that being said, I have a lot of kind of information that might be a little bit sobering to a lot of people, and hopefully Small Giant gets wind of this and they can watch this video and they can see what is going on, that we kind of know what is going on, and that there are certain steps that can be taken to increase the longevity of this game, because things are, it's looking kind of dismal at this point. And unfortunately, that's kind of where we're at. So I have a lot of different things that I'm gonna unpack in this video. And the very first thing that I got to show you guys, this is what's going on with the downloads. Okay, so this information, it is available at appmagic.rocks if you really want to go and pull this up. However, the information I'm showing you is part of their premium package, to where you have to pay a sizable amount to get access to kind of seeing all this information, but you can kind of fact check it if you really are that inclined to. It's called appmagic.rocks. So what this is this basically shows all of the downloads. Okay, so you can see this is the downloads. This is from the very beginning of Empires and Puzzles. As we know, Empires and Puzzles started right there. Now, just so you guys are clear too, this is an estimate of downloads too. So we know that this game started in March, and you can see this is where the downloads were at. This is about 20,000 downloads in that time. And as we go through, I'll kind of scale out so we can see kind of the overflow of what they've done over the years. This gives you a real estimate. So what I want to show you guys though, this is kind of the scary part in this. This is where we're at January last month of 2021. And you can see this is just over where they were at back when they started in July of 2017. So that's kind of a sobering thing, which I get it. You know, downloads are down, but you can see the high arc of how many people have actually downloaded this game and kind of where it's at this current point. And this is globally, this is all around the world. So I show you that because we can clearly see that the downloads in Empires and Puzzles are down. They're down. Now, the scary thing after this is the revenue standpoint. So I'm kind of showing you guys this. This is where they're at in terms of revenue globally. So you can see this is in the millions. Clearly, they've done pretty well financially for being such a small game. So I want to show you guys kind of the big dip that we're seeing now. And this right here, this is a very, very, very important dip that they have. That dip, and then you can see the sharp increase, that's actually when the no spend movements start. Now, I'm not going to take credit for that because I think everybody as a whole was really frustrated with the game. My video on no spend came out in June. It was June 19th of 2020. And if you look, that's in July. So that's where the sharp decrease in revenue came. And you can see right around this time, this is when we had more of the Teleria, Vila. Everybody was kind of excited, spending money. This was the peak of revenue. You guys can see this is the peak of revenue that they had. And we kind of saw that huge sharp. And then what's kind of crazy is it almost came back. It almost jumped back to kind of where they were at. The problem now that we're seeing is that sharp decrease. See the sharp decrease to where it's gone. In December, going down into January, and going into December, and you can see kind of the predictive model that it has. Currently, this isn't going to stay. This isn't going to go flat. It isn't going to go all the way down. But we can see clearly with the trajectory of how many downloads are taking place and what is going on for the game. If you don't have new users, you're not going to grow. If you're not keeping the people that are spending the most amount of money in this game happy, they're going to go. So we can kind of see this trajectory. Now, I don't want this to be all doom and gloom because, guys, I want to make it very clear. Again, I want them to do well, but this is the facts. This is what's going on, and these are estimations. So what I've proposed for you guys is being able to understand the different things that they can do to improve this game. First and foremost, I've been talking about this since the very beginning. Number one, they need a fair solution for duplicate heroes. Right now, as you see, you're in kind of this mode, especially even the people that are in the free-to-play mode. They've got a whole bunch of these heroes. They're kind of hanging on to them. We know that you don't really get a bunch of ham. Stuff is kind of really stifled. And the way that they released the Hero Academy, they released it in a way that it's a one-for-one exchange. Now, which obviously was not a good idea. I will say, though, major credit to Empires and Puzzles. They've kind of leaked out that they're making transitions in the future towards the Hero Academy. So I'm really, really, really hoping that this could be the time that they take advantage of shifting out duplicate heroes. Because now, the state of the game, we have so many heroes that are available. The good thing about it is if we are doing an exchange, there's still the odds of us not obtaining the hero we really want, but we still get that satisfaction of not feeling like we've wasted our money on a 5-star. So I think right now is a really good time for them to transition and make it so that duplicate heroes can be transferred. You have some sort of way to calculate the amount of heroes it takes to flip them and turn them into something good. They have to figure this out. They've got to figure this out. We've been talking about it. This is actually why I was really upset and the no spend movement started and everything like that, because they aren't fixing this problem. And again, it has to be number one. I get sick of talking about this, but I really think they need to do that. And what we have found is that the old heroes, they're not providing enough value in terms of what's coming out into Season 4 and all the new heroes that are being released and everything like that. So you've got really an exchange of power of what's going on. It is very clear that the user is seeing the money and where it is going in the game, and they need to find a way to fix that. And not to mention right now, it costs entirely way too much to increase your roster space. I think I'm up to like 600 gems to add 5. So if I'm adding 10, it's a lot. Actually, I think it might be even more than that. It's a lot. But they've increased the raid tournaments and they haven't given us space. So they really need to figure out something that we can do to kind of clear up the space. I know currently I have about, 95 5-stars or something like that are waiting to be kind of converted into something. Or they need to do something to where they actually give a good return on your investment of getting that 5-star because they're so hard. The next thing that they can do to improve the game and change it in 2021 is allowing heroes to ascend up to 6 stars. Now, hear me out, guys. I know SG is probably contemplating, all right, how can we get people to kind of invest more into this game? I think it would be murderous if they released heroes as 6 stars, okay? I think that would probably be the worst idea that they would ever have if they start releasing 6-star heroes because we're so used to our 5 stars being good. But having the ability to take 3 stars and bring them up to 6 stars would be absolutely amazing. And we're seeing this in other games, and this actually brings me to the sponsor of this video, which is Gemstone Legends. They've created this way to where you can take your heroes and bring them all the way up from 3 stars, and you bring them all the way up to 6 stars. So even your tiny little irrelevant little characters can be really good in the end, and you're not investing a ton of money to actually have a powerful character in the end. I'd really appreciate it if you check out Gemstone Legends. I'll leave the link below if you want to check them out, you want a different thing, because they've taken a lot of the kind of the ideas that I'm seeing and they've implemented it in their game. So I'll leave that link below. But what they're actually seeing is when you invest and have 3-star heroes, have them go up to 6 stars, it leaves space for the players that are really passionate about the game. They're kind of collecting the 6-star characters and they want to bring them up. and they have the ability to bring them up to 6 stars. But then you're seeing, even right now in Empires and Puzzles, there are some really relevant 3-star characters that could be brought up and bring it up to 6 stars, and there almost is a level of legitimacy of having these 3-star characters. They don't just become dirt, they don't just become used in like the tournaments, or they don't get just used in the events. You could actually have some really relevant characters. Now, I know that there would be a little bit of difficulty as far as tuning the stats to where it makes sense, and I think that they need to make sure, that's the biggest thing, is making sure when it goes up to 6 stars that there isn't a huge discrepancy in stats, whether it be attack, defense, or health. So I know that that might be a little bit of a challenge, but that could be a very simple, easy fix that they could do, because you're bridging the gap between the free-to-play players and the players that are spending a lot of money, and people that just want to kind of casually enjoy the game. They can take their little baby characters and they can bring them up. I think that that's really, really an important thing that they could institute that would bring kind of some newness to the game without investing a whole bunch of money, especially for the end users that have invested a ton of money into the game. And another thing would be able to, what you would do is you would create essentially a new Ascension item that would allow it to go up to 6 stars. I don't think that you want to hammer in the tonics and everything like that, spending a whole bunch or whatever. I think it should be probably a pretty easy thing for you to obtain to bring it to 6 stars. Some sort of new Ascension item that is not a money-grabbing Ascension item, because right now we are at a very desperate time to where new players, they're not getting introduced to the game, and the old players are kind of getting sick of just investing money into 5-star heroes. I think this would help out quite a bit. Another thing that I would recommend is what's called a mercy system. And what this essentially is when you invest and you do a whole bunch of rolls or you do a whole bunch of summons, eventually at some point there is a certain guarantee that you will be getting. I know how frustrating it is to go and spend a whole bunch of money in this game and then you don't get any 5 stars, and you look at your bank account the next day and you're like, what the heck did I just spend all that money for a whole bunch of food? It's a terrible feeling, and unfortunately people are going to get sick of it, especially if you're not increasing it. Another thing that they need to kind of improve on is they need to stop giving out content. We have so many different events that are going on. People are inundated with information. It's the whole paradox of choice right now. We're seeing that people are so caught up in like what event that they should be spending money in, that there's so many options that there's not really even a point to spend it. I know from a business standpoint, they're really kind of excited. They're trying to get us to spend money in the game. They want to release new content and stuff like that. But right now, what we are getting tangibly for our dollar is not making sense because there's so much events going on. We don't need new features that get us to get provoked to spend money. That's just very predatory. We want to have it set up to where we can kind of play the game, chill, and enjoy the game and have the longevity, because I've heard so many people say the biggest reason why they haven't quit the game is because of the community. So let us just enjoy the community with not always breaking out our wallet every single month on things, because you are losing the top end players. And this brings me to my next point. And I think that's something that they should really think about and institute. It's something I brought up kind of from the very beginning. Right now, we are playing a digital game. Just so you guys know, you have no ownership of your game. You have no ownership of it. If you are not playing it, you can't transfer it, you can't sell it. These are digital characters that you are renting on Empires and Puzzles server. You are spending thousands upon thousands of dollars just to rent things that you can never convert them into. We kind of need an incentive right now, and we kind of need a reason to play the game. And right now, playing in new events is not really incentive enough. We're seeing people go by loads and loads of long dedicated players that have been playing this game for 3 years, playing the game for a long time, that just are losing it because there's no reason to play the game. There's no accolades for getting in, top in global overall raids. There's no accolades for having the top alliance. There's nothing like that. And it needs to be a little bit more in terms of something more tangible than Ascension items that just trick us into spending more in the game. What I really think they need to do is institute kind of live event coverage to where you've got the top war teams, maybe do a bracket of all the different top alliances in the world, find a way to showcase the information, and hold a tournament for cash prizes. There needs to be a reason for new players to want to be top end players And there needs to be a reason for top-end players to continue to stay playing your game. There's tournaments in all sorts of different games that are out there in the world, and there's a reason why they are playing that game. It's not just because it's fun. At this point, it reaches that level, especially when you get to start investing a ton of money into the game. You spend a whole bunch of money in the game, you're eventually just going to get burnt out and just be like, oh, okay, cool. I just spent a whole bunch of money. That's cool. If you want to keep the top-end players, we need a better reason than just to get Ascension items. And right now, when we look at the distribution of the Ninja Tower, the resources it costs to do well in the events, it is not worth it. At this point, you're only playing for having accolades. And accolades, they reach a certain threshold of money that it's not worth it, and then you just stop playing. So having something set up, hold cash tournaments, really something to strive for. Again, the people that are just starting out, they can kind of see these players doing well, doing this, and there's just kind of some boredom at the top right now. So guys, I really hope that SG can make some changes, because like I said, I like making content. It's pretty awesome, and I really want to change that. If there's anybody that wants to be more on the side of Empires and Puzzles, it's me. The more people that download the game, the more people that watch my content, the better I do. I have nothing but good wishes for Empires and Puzzles. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is there anything else that I'm missing? I really appreciate all the support. I'll see you guys on the next video.